Hello guys, today about the top 5 worst restaurants. Restaurants can be good or bad, okay? But here's the criteria. Number 1, the restaurants cannot be a single restaurant. For example, there's lots of bad restaurants there's sometimes even bad restaurants at places like Disney World. They do exist. And of course, there are bad and overpriced restaurants, which are everywhere. But we'll be doing the restaurants that people always talk about. Chain restaurants. These are restaurants that most people usually go to anyways outside of your local, restaurants that you find by your area. For example, there are many local restaurants and pizzerias and stuff in New York City. But there are probably lists for top 10 worst restaurants in New York City. And if you want to look up the worst restaurants in your area, since I've never been into every town in America, you can't really have a comprehensive list of the worst restaurants, unless you want to go to Yelp or TripAdvisor or something. But yep, this is the top 5 worst restaurants in the country. Number 5. Number 5, Subway. Subway is a chain of restaurants that is found in America. It is basically always been a bad restaurant for me. It's overpriced, and the sandwiches are not even that good. You can really just buy once meat at a store and get better sandwiches than getting at Subway. There's a reason why Subway is closing a lot of stores. Why? Because Subway plain out sucks. The food there is not good, it's expensive, and you're paying expensive for lower quality food because anyone can make a sandwich. You don't have to go to Subway to get a more expensive sandwich than one you can make at home. What would be the point of eating at Subway anyways? It's expensive and it's overpriced. Especially if you know how to make a sandwich, why would you need to go to Subway? There's a reason why Subways are closing down across the nation. Because Subways suck. Number 4, Wendys. Yep. I know a lot of people like hating on the Wendys go, but in all seriousness, Wendys completely sucks. This is one of the worst restaurants. I always hated Wendys. When I was a kid, I was always like, why do we have to go to Wendys? Wendys has terrible chicken. Of course, I've not been there since for a while, but all I remember is Wendys having terrible chicken. Yep, chicken sandwiches suck, chicken fingers suck, and the fries are They're not that great. Great, and Wendys is completely horrible, to say of yourself. So overall, don't go to Wendys. It's a terrible place. Number 3, Taco Bell. Taco Bell completely sucks. Taco Bell is basically the lowest quality Mexican food you can find. If you know how to make tacos yourself or have better Mexican restaurants in your area, which unless you live in a small town of like 50 people, you most likely will. Especially here, there's like 4 or 5 Mexican restaurants that are better choices and options than going to Taco Bell. Taco Bell should be renamed the Diarrhea Restaurant. There's even all these memes about Taco Bell being a diarrhea restaurant. Because Taco Bell is just bad. Especially if you have better Mexican restaurants nearby in your area that are much better and much more authentic, especially like the authenticity. But I guess if you like convenience, Taco Bell is a choice for you. But other than that, stay away from Taco Bell. Just go to any other Mexican restaurant, or you can just buy tortillas at yourself and make tacos yourself. It isn't that hard actually. So yeah, anything is better than the diarrhea restaurant, Taco Bell. Number 2, Buffalo Wild Wings. Buffalo Wild Wings is a terrible place to eat. It is a terrible place to eat at. Number 1, the service usually is bad. Number 2, they really did not give you a menu. You have to ask them for a menu, and it literally took them 30 or 40 minutes to get your food. Like, this is supposed to be a restaurant, not a waiting game, okay? You're supposed to get your food, and it's supposed to be done. And the great Wild Wings, they're not that great. There are better places that serve better wings than Buffalo Wild Wings does. And the food there is super unhealthy too. People complain about McDonald's food being unhealthy, but all Buffalo Wild Wings food is much more worse. McDonald's is an honorable mention though. Honorable mention is McDonald's and Burger King. These are basically the cheapest restaurants in the fast food. These 2 restaurants are not good for you. They're just for the convenience. And McDonald's and Burger King, they just depend on the area you're in. If you have you might have a McDonald's and Burger King that completely suck. You might have ones that are pretty good. It really just depends on the area you live in. But overall, it is just pretty cheap food and more convenient than just sitting there waiting 4 minutes for your food in Buffalo Wild Wings. And they even have a automated response if you complain about Buffalo Wild Wings food. It's like they want you, and then they won't listen to your feedback anyways because the restaurant will still suck regardless. So overall, Buffalo Wild Wings sucks. And what the number one worst restaurant? Number one, Sonic. So, yep, Sonic should be renamed the worst place, the worst place in the entire world, because Sonic completely sucks. So Sonic is basically a fast food restaurant. I'm surprised this restaurant has not gone bankrupt because the food in Sonic sucks. It gives you diarrhea. That's what we renamed to, the diarrhea restaurant. It literally makes people sick. Yep. Sick. Lots of people have had sickness from the Sonic restaurants, including myself. And overall, this restaurant made me never want to eat here again. That's how bad Sonic is. Like Buffalo Wild Wings, why would anyone want to eat at Sonic? Sonic, it just sucks. It's just horrible and bad. And it also has an association of the character of the same name. So there we go about the worst restaurants of America. So of course, restaurants depend on your personal preference. There are people who really love certain restaurants. I know there are people who probably love all 5 restaurants on this list. Who probably love all of the restaurants on this list. I bet there are people who really hate any restaurants I like. Because it really depends on how the service is at a restaurant. And how bad or good the service is. How bad if they messed up your food or something like that. There are many factors of what can make a good or bad restaurant. So basically, if you want to really eat at any of these restaurants, you should go there yourself and try it for yourself. I think that would be the most easiest way to really judge for yourself. Because I've been to all 5 of these restaurants and I don't like any of them. And most of these restaurants are by here except for Sonic. By where I live except for Sonic, that is not by here at all as well. But all these restaurants I've mentioned are in the area of areas. And yeah, there's probably some restaurants that are on this list that some people sort of said. Like, for example, I know lots of you hate Hardee's and Carl Jr.'s. I never ate there, so I can't really tell you. Same thing when people are saying, what about Burger King and McDonald's? Well, those restaurants are too obvious to put on worst restaurants list. Because everybody say, oh, it sucks because it's unhealthy and you shouldn't eat there because it's fast food. The whole point is it's supposed to be a quick meal. It's not supposed to be a gourmet dinner. So if you want your gourmet dinners, go to Olive Garden or your local Brazilian steakhouse instead. So yep, that's basically about this list. Goodbye.